आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, I'm bringing you part 2 of the biggest financial fraud in the country carried out by Anil Ambani. He has snubbed and dodged the ED again. This is a huge scam masterminded by Anil Ambani. At 8:35 p.m. tonight, Afghanistan is striking deep inside Pakistan, striking 4 Pakistani bases. We have Afghan versus Pakistan debate tonight. And at 9 o'clock this evening, Arvind Kejriwal breaks down after being acquitted in the liquor scam case. We have, among others, Manish Sisodia also acquitted with us at 9 o'clock this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I said, and I repeat this again, Anil Ambani is the mastermind of one of the most dangerous financial scams in the country. He has conned almost 60% of India's financial system. And today I'm coming to you with part 2 of the dirty, dirty Anil Ambani scam. I'm going to tell you 6 fresh angles that I am bringing to you as part of this mega Anil Ambani scam part 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the first is the family trust angle. As you all know, Anil Ambani took a lot of money from here and there. Chinese-Indian consortium owes people over 40-50,000 crore rupees. What he tried to do is set up family trusts, equally dividing it between his wife and 2 sons, giving them 99% liability or ownership. And he has set up a company that has no salaries, no employees, no real estate other than their very own abode, a house they call the abode, a 3,700 crore rupee house if the documents with Republic hold the test of court. This is terrible what Anil Ambani did. He took the money from you and he distributed it among his family members. Secondly is the shell company angle. Across multiple points in the documents with Republic, it is clear that Anil Mastermind, Anil Epstein, Anil Mastermind Ambani, Anil Epstein Ambani, set up a trust that masqueraded as a family trust and it turned out to be a shell company. Ladies and gentlemen, he was the master of layering. I will show you today how at some points he indulged in as many as 7 layers of financial layering. This only a massive financial scamster can do. He was also siphoning off the money, yours money, to Chinese shores. If you have a shred of doubt that Anil Ambani was simply trying to restructure his loans and honestly pay off his debt, when the documents with Republic raise fresh questions as to why this man was diverting his loan funds to China and to the UK. Look at that table there. Look at the money being taken away to UK and to China. The other point about the Anil Ambani scam, and I said yesterday he's worse than any of the scamsters, is that of fund diversion. Across multiple account examples, Anil Ambani, according to documents with Republic, was using the classic tactics that are used by global notorious financial fraudsters, where he was getting money for one purpose and then diverting it to his investments and to service his fancies, whether that be a Hollywood movie or spend money to maybe spend time traveling to meet Epstein. The question is therefore on the banking system that allowed him to do all of this layering. The biggest questions that the papers with Republic also put up are the questions which the Lutyens media does not want to pick up. What were the banks doing? What was their due diligence? Because the papers that we have with Republic tonight indicate that Anil Ambani was getting loans in large tranches worth hundreds and thousands of crores of rupees. But in some cases, these were given by the banks without his personal net worth certificate or chartered accountant certificate even. Siphoning. And if you have a shred of doubt that Anil Ambani was simply trying to restructure his loans and honestly pay off his debt, these documents will raise fresh and serious questions. as to why this man was transferring money from India to China and the UK. My only question is tonight, and this is where the government's role comes in. See, the government has to distance itself from this man who was doing everything to project himself as close to the Modi government. There's nothing which proves that the Modi government gave him any right to play such a card, but he was reckless and desperate. He played such a card. In the given circumstances, when he's asked to come back to the ED on Friday and he simply says to them, sorry, I'm busy, I'm flying off on a chartered plane to Mumbai, then he's snubbing the government. Anil Ambani is today snubbing the government and dodging the enforcement directorate. Why is he being allowed such a long rope? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Would any common man get this leeway that this man is getting today? The nation wants to know. Let's debate.
Yesterday's Anil Ambani grilling at the ED office lasted about 10 hours. He came out looking what some would call smug, but many would agree not confident as he drove away, not taking questions from the media. It was unsurprising then that today, while the ED asked Anil Ambani to appear once again, he was a no-show. Anil Ambani skipped the summons once again. In Part 2 of Republic's super exclusive investigation on the Anil Ambani scam, Republic peels 6 fresh layers of the fraud undertaken by this once blitzy spotlight chaser. The story starts tonight with the Anil Ambani Family Trust. Papers with Republic reveal how Anil Ambani's family, Tina Ambani and his sons Anmol and Anshul Ambani, had equal shares in the contentious Raisi Custodian Services. Raisi controlled almost entirely Vihan 43, the alleged shell company at the core of the Anil Ambani scam. Through an intricate 2-layer mechanism and an estimated total of 14,05,000 shares, the majority of liability of Vihan directly falls on Anil Ambani's immediate family. Papers with Republic detail how the very formation of this trust was nothing beyond a self-serving tool for the Anil Ambani family. A smokescreen mechanism possibly set up by Anil Ambani to find a way around the system to ensure his bloodline profiteers. And this smokescreen mechanism, in the name of Vihan 43, in Papers with Republic display some curious characteristics. This company has little or no self-generated revenue, is a loss-making machine on repeat, and has no employees, no salary outflows, not even any electricity expenses. In other words, Anil Ambani may have essentially set up a classic shell company, planted his wife and sons in the books as the front faces for it, all so that it would appear that he himself was not involved. Almost as dramatically as the layers of the Anil Ambani fraud seem to be peeling off in 2026 was the intricate way in which Anil Ambani operated as the master layerer of his company. Through elaborate contours of 4, 5, 6 and 7 layered systems across different transactions, Anil Ambani diverted funds to different players. What this repeat pattern meant was this man was seasoned. It was not an off decision. It was pure, established business strategy. Anil Ambani's siphoning of funds to foreign shores wasn't only limited to China, with multiple Chinese banks knocking at his door. Crores were being diverted in tranches to accounts in the UK as well. Fund diversion was another stratagem that Anil Ambani used, getting loans for the apparent purpose of short-term mismatch in cash flow, for example, but diverted to other companies. Getting loans on the pretext of operational expenses, but diverted to investment in liquid funds and mutual funds. You would think that Anil Ambani's scale of alleged crime was at a scale that couldn't be missed to the regulators, watchdogs and agencies. But the fact that the papers with Republic indicate that he was getting loans from SBI without personal guarantees and without CA certificates, questions around what the role of the banks were in allowing Anil Ambani to pull off one of India's biggest financial fraud comes under public scrutiny. Whether or not the agencies will now redeem themselves by taking Anil Ambani in or go into a spin of a further loop of summons will determine how long a rope India will give to an alleged fraudster and whether the agencies will use summons as an albatross or to allow its investigation to face the trial for true justice.
What was particularly bad, M.R. Venkatesh, Santosh Mehrotra and Manish Bariyar pro-BJP, what was particularly bad today, M.R., was that yesterday he was being questioned till about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. The expectation was that this time he will be arrested because there's enough reason and evidence. He left yesterday at 9 o'clock and he gets into his car. These are the pictures. He was told to come back at 10 o'clock today. Then in the morning, he sends a letter that I'm not feeling well. I'm going back to whatever. He just flies back to Bombay. And the ED is just looking helpless.
Yes.
What's going on?
Arnab, you know, I practice much of on these exotic laws. So lesser mortals are advised by people like me, or lawyers, chartered accountants, to better honor the summons and better make yourself available for summoning, investigation, and whatever documents need to be given, proved, evidences provided, whatnot. Now, I do not know how much time will the ED go on grilling Mr. Anil Ambani. Remember, it was the benevolence of the Manmohan Singh government that helped him escape in the 2G scam. He got his minions arrested and he escaped.
Yeah.
Then occasionally he demonstrated he was close to the Prime Minister and so many other people. And he became the India's offset for Rafale.
Rafale, the salt.
In that contract, Anil Ambani's companies were chosen to be the offset manufacturer. Now that couldn't have happened but for his worming his way into the benevolence of this dispensation too. But as I see today, something, no, 1 minute. Sir, ocularly it was demonstrated. I never said it is. Ocular demonstration matters in these type of things.
Ocular demonstration can happen to anyone. Right, it's all there in the mind.
But ED summons में आप छोड़ देते हैं, ये सरासर नहीं होता है. Don't teach the grandma I am practicing on ED. ED में आपने छोड़ दिया क्यों?
Look at the
Why did you leave? Why did ED leave him yesterday? Why do you go on grilling him? Is he a tandoori chicken to be grilled daily on a daily basis?
All right.
That's why today again a fresh case was filed in the Bank of Baroda case. 2,200 crores.
See, don't teach me.
Don't allege
unnecessary. We are all appalled, dismayed by your ED's
kind of cheap glory.
Lesser minions
don't do that.
Tougher things.
Don't accuse government because it is
ladies and gentlemen, in the Anil Ambani scam, if I may, MR and Manish, whenever I do a scam, I look at the documents. You have to give a chronology. What in legal terms is money? Frankly, let me tell you that, right? And he becomes a pauper. And then there's also the period when he becomes a Hollywood producer. He's roaming around. He's trying to hire stars and starlets roaming around and all that, which is 2012 to 2015, which means despite being a pauper, he's keeping the pretense of being a very rich man. This he is doing by taking money around 2012 from China, Santosh Mehrotra. By 2016, 2 years into the Modi government, he's actually finished. He is finished. But now a remarkable thing happens, Santosh. He starts getting into defense, becomes the offset partner of Dassault Rafale, and also at the same time, magically, a group of Indian banks representing 70% of Indian banking say, don't worry, Anil Ambani, we've got your back. Here are 20,000, 30,000 crore rupees. So he gets financed by the entire banking consortium of India, much more than Vijay Mallya has ever done in his life. So, can both things happen without political patronage? Entry into defense and having an Indian bank consortium very powerful as your knight in shining armor.
So you're absolutely right, Arnab. as is the lawyer who was speaking before me.
M.R. Venkatesh.
Forgive me, I didn't know your name. I'm so glad, Arnab, that you talked about the chronology here, because let's just remind our viewers that the loans that have been defrauded upon were extended between the period of 2013 to 2017. An investigation about them has been, and the fraud was discovered after obviously 2017. Normally it takes about 2.5 years to discover a fraud, and the matter has been investigated since about 2020. Now let's go back to precisely the Dassault matter, because you rightly raised the question, how was the Ambani company awarded this offset deal when a government-to-government agreement was arrived at suddenly, completely abrogating a previous agreement that had been arrived at on the basis of competitive bidding by the previous government. Now, the point is the government-to-government agreement in 2015 is, as you rightly noted, is in 2015, so by the current dispensation. And the question then arises, Arnab, as to how come an offsetting given to a company which is being given a loan over that very period by the biggest bank of our country, and Dassault CEO Eric Trapler is stated to have said, when he was asked how come Anil Ambani was given the contract for this offset, that they chose this Reliance Group because of the availability of land. Seriously, because of the availability of land and because Ambani's family was considered respectable. So much for your respectability. Where is the respectability coming from? It's obviously from the government connections.
All rubbish, right? This entire Dassault thing, it was offset is never government to government, and Dassault was independent to actually do that.
Arre bhai. It's all in the public domain.
I don't know what did you drink tonight.
That offsets are definitely in a government-to-government agreement.
It's a serious matter. You can't allege government like that.
No, I think if I may, if I can get Manish, if I may.
You love the word rubbish and you want to rubbish everyone. You rubbish the poor lawyer.
See, either you are doing it deliberately or you do not know. But I know you must be knowing and then deliberately playing mischief.
Except for you.
It has nothing to do with
I ask you a simple question tonight, if I may, please. And remember, I have no bone to pick in this fight. Just one point I want to make. When we run news networks, I'll give an example here, MR equity structures, nobody understands better than you. I run a news network. My news network, to get a license, Santosh Mehrotra, and media is considered to be a strategic enough sector where foreign equity is up to 26%. If I have 26.1% foreign equity, I will not be given a license. Now you are also required to disclose your external debt, because some people can take debt, be indebted more than the value of the company itself many times over, and therefore debt can also not be hidden, because eventually the bank, the ministries ask for the list of final beneficiaries. Now, what I wanted to tell you was that in 2016, the final beneficiaries of Anil Ambani were not Indian at all, they were Chinese, because he was rolling over many times into Chinese debt. The Chinese were telling him that, sir, you are not giving us any money. So here is a man who's controlled by Chinese and has no experience in defense. A man controlled and indebted to the Chinese and over whom Chinese have total leverage, and who has no experience in defense. In a government-to-government deal, where did Anil Ambani come in? The nation wants to know. And now, 10 years later, he's walking out chewing bubble gum from the Enforcement Directorate like he doesn't give a damn for the place. No, I'm serious. Look at the arrogance.
Yes, sir.
No, MR.
Absolutely.
I am
appalling.
Look at this.
Appalled.
That's not something he is paying, Arnab. It's not that he's going scot-free or something like that. In fact,
You
the way
know,
he's being
Manish,
and probably
you
he
know,
will get
Manish, the
convicted.
impact that,
That's
you
more
know,
important.
Manish,
Conviction
the
is more
impact, you know,
important
Subroto
than
Roy Sahara did not just come down. Subroto Roy Sahara also brought down his political benefactors.
See,
you
I don't know
understand,
what
Manish,
happened to
Manish,
him,
one
but
thing,
here
one
it is
thing.
very clear
Manish,
that this man
Manish.
is under the heat and he's facing all the entire might of the law. Right, and it is important to build a good case.
I'm sorry,
I
this
don't
is
want
not,
that he
this
should
is,
go
this
to
is
a jail for a few
not,
days
Manish.
and come out. Right, so his
More
conviction is
graphics.
more
Manish,
important.
Manish,
I don't think
come on.
arrest means
Manish.
conviction, and conviction is more important
Manish,
here.
sorry, your understanding is probably rivals my grandmother's understanding of Bharatanatyam. Let me tell you that what we want is that when a search happens under section 17 and 19.
And you think that serious search is not happening, and that's why these assets are getting confiscated?
I have not yet completed,
around
sir. I have not yet completed,
15,000
sir.
crores?
Sir, I have not completed. Don't betray your nervousness. Don't betray. Please wait. I am putting something very clear to you. When a search happens, under PMLA, there is a very clear understanding that there must be money laundering that has happened. And when money laundering has happened, tell me why is it that Mr. Anil Ambani has not yet been arrested? Now we are hearing this nonsense for 6-8 months.
Okay. See, my point is something else. Supreme Court is very clear.
No, this is the point.
If a person
This
is
is
a
the
flight
point.
risk,
You cannot digress.
if a person,
You cannot digress.
listen to me, please. Please listen to me.
No.
If a Supreme
Please
Court
answer
says
my
if a
question.
person is flight risk,
Answer.
you can arrest. If a person is not cooperating, you can
can I
arrest.
have-
Sorry.
It's not happening out here.
Again,
He gave it.
you're not,
And I'm
you're
not there to
under
defend him
prepared.
also.
You're under prepared.
I'm not there to defend him.
It is
10
mandatory.
minutes of the-
It is mandatory to arrest
My
people
duty is not to
involved in
defend
money
him.
laundering.
In fact, I
He is
would
not
like
on
to
flight
see him
list.
behind bars
He is
very
not
soon.
an ordinary
But
criminal.
you
He is a money
cannot,
launderer.
by extension,
A
you
money
cannot
launderer
talk
has
about
to be
the government.
arrested. Period.
All these things
Under
are
section
upped by
19.
the government. Everything is
Sir,
upped by
under
the
section
government. In fact,
19,
yes,
under
the ED
section
is after
19, you
him,
have to arrest.
CBI is after him. What do you want? I don't
Sir,
understand.
after him,
You have a
he's
personal
running away.
vendetta,
You are
you
not
have a
running.
personal
Sir,
vengeance. That's different.
Sir, you are
But
running.
government doesn't act
You are
like
running
that.
second.
Right? The courts are
You are
there.
running second behind him.
See.
You are running second behind him. You are not catching
MR
him.
has a counter. MR has a counter. See, I just want to tell you one thing. MR, I don't know how anybody can say that his property is being attached, so he should be let off. No. I want to know about the crime. Luna Trust,
Yes.
Nova Trust, Vihan Trust, Shell Company, Vihan 43, Apple file, and multi-level layering and diverting money through 5 layers in companies later amalgamated in another company. MR?
Arnab, lesser mortals would have been arrested by now.
Who would have been arrested by now?
Lesser mortals.
Yeah.
It is an exalted status of Mr. Anil Ambani that prevents this government from arresting him. I'm making a
What is
frontal-
stopping the government from arresting him?
That
Manish?
only Mr. Manish can say.
No, in fact, see, there is nothing stopping because arrest is not something which you decide on whims and fancies on this program. Right? Because
I am
you
not
come
asking
to
anything
arrest
on the basis of a
him,
women
he
fancy.
can't be arrested
I have
on your
read the
whims and
entire
fancies.
provisional
He has to take
attachment
its course.
order. The
Right?
entire.
He has to take its
I'm
course.
sorry, there is no whim, there is no fancy. There is, however, a document called the Provisional Attachment Order of the Enforcement Directorate.
What
The
about
government
the
is
case of-
duty bound. The
Arnab,
government, unless Santosh, unless the government says we will not act on the basis of what our own enforcement directorate
Arnab,
is saying.
you tell me, fresh FIR of 2,200 crores today, is that important or putting a man behind bar for 15 days? for 20
FIR
days and
means
then coming
nothing,
out?
sir.
What is more important?
FIR means nothing.
FIR,
In fact,
FIR in this
through that
country
FIR, all
can be
these
launched against you, against me, against
properties have been
Arnab.
attached.
No
Why
problem.
do you say FIR doesn't mean anything? It is actually, FIR is done on evidence. And that
Okay,
means
so-
that the
so what-
government
what-
has all these agencies.
What you're
have
saying is that,
acted,
what
got
you're
the
saying,
evidence, and then the FIR has been
so
done.
you are willing to let other scamsters, he's saying he's willing to let other scamsters benefit as long as Anil Ambani is protected. It doesn't
No,
matter
you
if
again
thousands
put
of
words in my
scamsters
mouth.
take
I'm not saying
advantage of
like
this.
that. I'm not even defending Anil Ambani. For me, I think the insinuations which you put on government is something which is highly objectionable because it is government which comes out very strongly against any person. See, for government, Anil Ambani doesn't matter. XYZ doesn't matter.
This man has
Government,
misused,
the law
let me
has
be
to
more
take
direct.
course for
Pictures,
everyone. And
this,
that is what is being exhibited
this
here.
is more direct. This man has misused his supposed and perceptual access in the government of India, even with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you understand how serious that is? Or you don't understand? I have been in media long enough to know the importance of this. Santosh Mehrotra, this man has presented himself to the world as speaking on behalf of or defending the interests of the government of India, while defrauding the Indian banking system.
How do you say that, Arnab?
How do I say that? Have you not read his emails with
basis?
Jeffrey Epstein, or are you in another parallel universe? Have you not read
I'm
it?
not there. But then how is government
No,
here?
which universe are you in? I'm in this one.
You give me a statement, Arnab, where it says that he has presented it as a government this thing. That's something which
I
is very
suggest
outrageous
that you
what you're
read his emails with Jeffrey Epstein yourself.
So I have been privy to whatever has come out, right? But there is no.
No, you are not.
statement
You are
to say-
privy to it, but you are not reading it in entirety. Anyway,
No, it's not true.
the larger question is, suppose Santosh Mehrotra says that I have taken 15,000 crores from Chinese banks. They're after my life. Now listen, I need to start making planes, get a multi-billion-dollar contract, and can you organize a few banks to save me and finance me in the process? And suppose he gets everything that he wishes for. Would you say that's completely because of his innate goodness?
Is that to Santosh Mehrotra?
Santosh Mehrotra. Unmute,
nice,
Santosh.
You know, I'm glad you're raising these questions, particularly now with the Epstein emails appearing.
Epstein shirts.
It's become plenty clear now that the connect with the current ruling dispensation is actually very strong, as it was always strong, which was demonstrated in 2015 from the offset deal which I mentioned earlier, because he was replacing. Here was someone who had never manufactured aircraft or repaired aircraft or any such thing, and he was offered an offset in place of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, which has been India's major public sector manufacturer of aircraft.
By default, sir.
May I finish, sir? I don't interrupt you when you speak. Can you?
But then
Have you
you
have the
also-
decency? Where were you educated?
No, by
Where
default.
were you educated?
No,
Where
by
were
default.
you educated?
You tell by
Do you have
he was selected by Dassault and government
even
has
a
no role
shred
in
of
No
decency?
roles in it.
Do you have a
Please say
shred
that.
of decency? You think
Please
you
say
can
that.
go on
By
talking
Dassault, don't
rubbish
mislead.
over my
Don't
voice?
mislead.
Santosh
You think
Mehrotra
you
should
can
speak.
go on talking rubbish and I will let you talk?
No, but
You will
were the
interrupt
one
me
who
and
was
I will
speaking
let you
rubbish
talk.
Because you have a habit of misleading the nation.
Do you own
Santosh
Arnab
Mehrotra.
Goswami?
Role in that.
Do you own
It was
Arnab
two private
Goswami?
parties
Do
having
you
their
own
own
Arnab
business
Goswami?
deals.
Do
Anybody
you
is-
own Arnab Goswami? Do you think you can go on talking rubbish?
No,
and
it's not like that.
everyone should
But I
let you
won't
talk
allow you to
rubbish.
speak like that.
Hey,
You
Baba,
can't mislead the country.
in all this, I would have said what I had to say, and then you would have managed
Please say, but
to
I have
rebut
to
me.
correct you. Whenever you are wrong,
Now,
I have to correct you.
I bet you my bottom dollar, I will not let you speak even a single word from this point onwards.
So then you
I
are
will
getting
not,
angry. I was
because
not
you
angry.
don't have the
I was
decency,
not
nor do
angry.
you have the education, nor do you have the education,
Please go ahead.
forget about the
Please go ahead.
decency, to understand
Please go ahead, sir.
when you're having a discussion,
Please go
you
ahead.
let other people speak, and the
Please
other
go ahead.
person will let you speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please carry on.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Suddenly, decency has descended upon you. Anyway, so all I was saying was, I was making a very simple point that clearly there is a connection which I had established, which I think fairly well known already in 2015 on the basis of the Dassault deal that was awarded to him on a government-to-government basis. Secondly, now the Epstein matter has demonstrated beyond a shadow of doubt that he has been a go-between between all the relevant parties that I think everyone has read. Now, what is the case about? Can we just remind all our listeners about what the nature of the case is here? The case is about a significant proportion of the 31,000 crores that was granted to him by a consortium of banks way back in 2013 onwards, disbursed until 2017. And the case basically is of the following nature. He has been charged with diversion of funds to the value of 6,265 crores for repayment of other bank loans. Secondly, he's been charged with diversion of 5,501 crores to pay related and connected parties. And thirdly, another 1,883 crores were diverted into mutual funds and fixed deposits, which were then immediately liquidated to make further payments to related and non-related parties. These are the matters at hand. Now, he has escaped ED summons. How does he have the audacity to escape ED summons when a new case is being filed by?
That is the point. That is my fundamental point, if I may, sir. That is a strong point. I want to bring in MR here. I think the government must never forget that it was elected in 2014 on the promise of fighting corruption. One of the singular points on which both MR and I and others are aggrieved is the fact that corruption cases seem to be lost, Manish Baryan, and you will have to listen right now. Please listen right now, because we have been in this much longer than you have, and you must respect that. And I would request you to listen, because, don't behave like the Congress party was when it was in power. And you will not like the comparison, but I will compare again. See.
No, you are wrong on that.
It doesn't matter what you think. My point is, please hear me on this. Today, the ED has all the powers, MR, under Section 50. We know it's a powerful section of the PMLA. It can summon, force people to give evidence. It can do everything possible, and yet Anil Ambani snubs the ED, dodges the government, snubs the ED, and flies out to Mumbai. He has performed a no-show earlier this week. On 17th November, he did not appear. On 14th November, he did not appear. Even his wife does not appear. She's told to come on 10th of February. She does not appear. 17th of February, she does not appear. Right? And now the government is trying to do media management. Government is saying, listen, are we not attaching his property? Are you not happy? Are we happy? Should we be happy if you attach property worth 1/50th of what he owes the people of India? What about his criminality? Now, what happens, I'll tell you. Let me take the case of Amrit Pal Singh, a Hong Kong-based director of a single-person company who evaded the ED summons. He had denial of anticipatory bail, arraignment in prosecution complaint, and lookout circular. So one law for him and one law for Anil Ambani. Why? That is what the nation wants to know. Isn't it, MR?
Precisely.
It's dual standards, hypocrisy, VIP treatment.
Nothing of that sort, Arnab. It's all going as per the law. In fact, if you look at the UPA government and you mention about Congress government, I think in your program you must...
I'm sorry, the point was to MR Venkatesh. Let him respond to the situation.
Arnab, see, what you have done is to demonstrate how Anil Ambani gets VIP treatment. I do not know why, for what reason, this government is chickening out from arresting him. What is the underlying connection that prevents this government from arresting Mr. Anil Ambani? Because, as you said, and I know for a fact, whenever ECIRs are recorded, lookout circulars are issued immediately. I know for a fact, the moment ECIRs are recorded, attachments happen. And attachments is only a civil process. Arrests happen. Arrests happen the moment searches happen. All these are not at the whims and fancies of an investigating officer. It is a mandatory process under law. And remember, this man has a checkered history for the last 20 years. He has hoodwinked the system right from 2G till
And that
Dassault,
is what
and
MR, that is what the BJP used to say, that Anil Ambani could hoodwink the Congress system and they will not be able to hoodwink us. But today, Manish Pariyar, he's frying you, he's grilling you every single day. 1 minute, he has done fund diversion. He has duped your banking sector. He has taken Indian bank account holders' money to China, and you are just looking at him with sweet nothing smiles. Come on.
Arnab, one question, Arnab. If Dassault has chosen Mr. Anil Ambani as their partner, this speaks very poorly of Dassault, because Dassault has chosen a person who has hoodwinked the system and who has connection with the Chinese. And it is for the Indian establishment to have said, sorry, you can have any other partner, but not Mr. Anil Ambani, who has some connections with the Chinese, who is anti-establishment, who has a proven track record of hoodwinking the system. So it was important for the government to have put up with that. It is not a private alliance between Dassault and Anil Ambani. It was for
now you choose
security of
this.
this.
What are you
Sorry,
talking?
you have failed us.
What are you
Sorry, you have
talking?
failed us.
Anything and everything you speak without any basis.
Sir, what are you
the government
talking?
is going to go and say, okay,
Dassault-
now you choose this. It was a
Now
government
Dassault will choose ISI, will you? I keep going. Will Dassault choose ISI, will you keep going?
Right, everything.
Dassault will
Like whatever
choose-
one feels,
Dassault will choose
one can
ISI, will you keep
one
going?
can speak,
You answer this.
And that's it. Right, without
I don't
any
know
basis,
why.
without
I
any
don't know.
basis, without any data,
Manish in supporting. Manish in supporting. In my last line on this is. My last line on this is, Manish, hear me. In supporting Anil Epstein Ambani, you are speaking. You are speaking for the unspeakable. You are defending the indefensible. And you're supporting the greatest illegalities of a scamster. Remember, in life you do a lot of good, but for one wrong, people don't forgive you. Already you had a bad day in court today with Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia was joining me at 9. I don't know why you're doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, Anil Ambani's arrest should be a matter of time. There needs to be an element of certainty about it.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
सिप जीरा सिप MDH का